Yeah. We back. Better than ever. There you go. So we back, y'all. Once again. Armani TV. I wanted to chime in today. It's been a little minute. Again, I've been working hard, y'all. Acquiring things. As you could plainly see. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me get my swag together for this live. Make sure that we all the way right. Make sure that we all the way right. See, my biggest thing is progress. You heard? And without the process, there is no progress. Every time you see, at least me, it's going to be a different joint on there. Let's talk about it. I ain't going to hold you. This seat, cold as hell. I'm bugging the fuck out. All right. Today's youth. Let me put the comments up. If anybody wants to join, y'all know that y'all are welcome. I'm going to post the link inside of the chat. And yeah, hold on. Let's get the banners going. That's what I was saying. Listen, this is not a live about people joining. You know what I'm saying? This is not about that at all. We actually going to just talk some real talk today. Get into some real topics. Also, y'all probably seen these backwood pouches inside of your local tobacco shops, even your Aki corner stores if you live in New York. But what I did was we swagged it out and we added a chain to it. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it like one of the fanny pack joints that you wear. But I wanted to take it back to the 80s. You remember when cats was wearing like the MCM pouches and the Gucci pouches right on their joint like it was a chain. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at with it. You heard? That's where we at with it right now. All right, we gonna run with this one right here. Live like the Hesh truck. We back. We back, y'all. Better than ever. So before we get into this joint, matter of fact, let me get a couple vibes going over here. Let's get some smooth vibes going over here. But it's been a couple joints, a couple things that I wanted to, not even respond or react to, but more so just clarify. You know what I'm saying? Just give my opinion on. See if I can find my joint.
Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, your day can be full.
Alright, so we got a little background music. Hold on. Oh yeah, I got my lighter. Alright, we ready. So, a couple different topics to discuss today. The youth is the most important. And I think my biggest message today is YouTube. I come here to have fun. I come here to literally share information. That's what YouTube is for me. What I personally use YouTube for is to go to sleep and to personally keep myself entertained in between the times that I'm actually working. Now, if I'm going to be entertained by anything, I would prefer it to be something that's going to enhance myself or that's going to be conducive to the enhancement of the environment as a whole. So when we talk about, what goes on today on the typical YouTube topics, had to bust a shot off for that. Shout out to my mans Jamel Saladin. Shout out to you, brother. Definitely got to throw the applause up for that. This is a guy that I've been hearing his name and the likes of people like Hassan Campbell, people like not 10 Toes Down. Who's his cousin? Forget the brother's name right now. I've been blazing, but you know who you are. These are respected guys in the conscious community. Sonetta, there it goes. As soon as I said conscious, Sonetta, which is a good sign. Shout out to Sonetta, because when I thought of the word conscious, your name came to mind. So that's a big, big sign. That's a big, big ups to you, man. But people, people among the conscious community, I've heard this brother, Jamel Saladin, I've heard his name. And so, personally, as of recent, I didn't even go looking for him. There was a video that popped up on my timeline. I gave it the time of day. That led to me clicking on his profile, and that's when I know that the dude is genuine and he's good money. Not to toot my own horn, but if I click on your video, and after watching that one video, it leads me to clicking on your profile to check out your other playlists, that means something that you said in that previous video definitely caught my attention. And I feel that, I need to spend a little bit more of my time, you know what I mean? Looking into the actual platform itself. So again, the brother Jamel Saladin, shout out to him once again. But this guy is talking some real facts on his channel, like myself. I do fragrance reviews, as you guys know. I also give out credit gems, you know what I'm saying? So any information that I find to enhance my personal credit, I usually share it on my YouTube. What better than to have your following as strong as you? Meaning, there was a Jay-Z line where he said, if we all strong, nobody could fall, you know what I'm saying? Because we'll be each other's crutches, you know what I mean? So the whole point is making sure that everybody eats. The audience, you guys watching, you're a part of my team. You are who makes Armani TV. Without you 1,000+ subscribers, it would be no reason for me to ever go live. And me, you know, I don't care about the numbers. I don't do this for the numbers. It's about the message. The message is most important. You got to be here for the message. You heard? So what we talking about today? Again, today's youth being the topic of discussion. There's some things that I wanted to actually share. I have a career. I work in banking. I work for a prestigious credit union. I'm 36 years old. I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter by the same mother. Shout out to my son and my daughter. Shout out to their moms. More importantly, I'm from the Bronx, New York. A dirty little block that you might know of called 163rd and Eagle Avenue. I'm from the Eagle School. I went to the Eagle School. The infamous school with the sign, the statue on the sign with the dude with the ball, look like the Jordan sign, and the dude trying to block it. PS 140. From kindergarten all the way up into 3rd grade, in which at that point my moms had moved here down south, which is where North Carolina even became a part of my life, period. I was 7 years old, going on 8 at the time, and she had left New York. She had, some things going on. She had to leave. She came back to New York like a villain in the night, literally like a villain. It was the middle of the night. Grabbed my older sister, packed her up. She probably didn't even take all her stuff. Shout out to Tana if you see this. Took her with her to North Carolina. I never forget this. God bless and rest mommy's soul. She gave me $5 and had a brand new Power Ranger toy. And I don't know how she knew I liked the Black Ranger. I guess it was because he was the only one that was Afro-American. But it was the toy at the time. I'm 36, so again, if you remember the Power Rangers back in the 90s, they had the little toy, the action figure that was like this big. Where when you flipped his belt, head flip from the regular head to the morphin top. Like, it was so fly. So I was just like, I was amazed with that alone, and I really wanted the toy at the time. So, I'm 7 going on 8. I'm not actually understanding what's going on. But, with some stuff going on with my mom's, and, she had to leave New York, came back and got my sister. So what happened shortly after was I was sent to live with my pops, who was in Jersey. Now, this whole time, me and my sister been visiting my pops in Jersey. We been going over there every weekend. Sometimes we would split weekends, where one weekend I would go and she would stay with my mom's in the Bronx. The next weekend she would go, I would stay with my mom's in the Bronx. Next weekend, both of us go. Like, it was just always Jersey for the weekends. And I just remember that time spent with my pops, man. Shout out to my pops. Shout out to my moms as well. But it's that balance in the home. You know what I'm saying? Whether both of them were together or not, I guess this message, before we lead into what I really want to talk about, is no matter what your status is with your kid's mother, your kid's father, that balance is important. You got to understand that as a parent, meaning if you're a mom who is going through something to where your kid's father may have cheated on you, now you feeling scorned. You feeling like you don't trust the guy, you don't want him around your kids, so on and so forth. If that be the case, even if that be the case, what a lot of women need to understand, and this is where my brother, again, Jamel Saladin, he hit on this the other day. It was so strong, I had to screenshot it and literally send it to my baby moms. And even though me and her are on good terms, I want her to constantly be reminded that there are other guys out here who feel and think like myself, who are family oriented. That Bill Cosby shit. You know what I'm saying? You want the big house where all of the kids are in the same house with the same mom and father. You know what I'm saying? We spending Christmases and Thanksgivings, Halloweens, even if you don't celebrate that. Let the kids go trick-or-treat and let them have that. Explain it to them later, the evils of the holiday, but let them have that while they're young. The whole point is spending time as a family, as a unit. Now, again, things happen. We split, we go our separate ways. But the important thing is to never let whatever situation that had y'all split ways have you on some shit to where you're literally not even splitting the kids. You're basically hindering the man from even seeing the kids. Naturally, it's for the kids to be with the mom. Even if the mom situation is not adding up to what the father situation is. Let's keep it 100. It took me a little second. You know what I'm saying? I grinded. I got down here in North Carolina last summer. I was staying with my sister, working a little part-time job, stacking, doing what I need to do. But we all know what happened from that. We did the walkthrough, and if you didn't see the walkthrough, go through my profile. You can see the whole crib. I'm only in my bedroom right now. And the setup isn't even complete. There's a reason why there's an echo in here like that. I still got much more stuff to purchase and acquire. More importantly, life is about manifestation. The things that you think are the things that you become, are the things that actually will show up in your life. Whether you're subconsciously thinking them, meaning they're in the back of your mind. You may think of them when you sleep. You keep having the same dream over and over, eventually that dream is going to become a reality, no matter what it is, good or bad. So if it's you becoming a millionaire, some famous superstar, you keep having that dream over and over, it's going to show up in your reality. What you do with it at that time is on you. If you constantly dreaming about somebody trying to hurt you or kill you or whatever, it's going to show up in your reality. The thing is, we have something called the time delay in thoughts and manifestation, period. Meaning, a thought that we have tonight or a bad dream, what we call a nightmare, it's not to say that it's going to necessarily manifest tomorrow or in the near future, because you could have a million other positive thoughts after that one nightmare that erases that one nightmare. The whole idea is conditioning and training your mind to get to a point where you just on some Elevation. Constant elevation. Constant elevation. That's where we at right now. Today's youth, they not seeing enough of that. Between broken homes, and again, I'm not perfect. I don't stay with my kid's mom. We in 2 different states. We do our best to co-parent. So I'm not speaking from a standpoint of somebody who's trying to act like they're perfect or better than the next person. I'm speaking from a standpoint of somebody who's concerned about our future. My kids are a part of our future. Literally, my 2 kids who are 6 and 7 are a part of your future, whether you're 19, 20, 25, 33, 45, whatever age you are watching this. My kids are a part of our future. Your future. You could take me out of it. I could die tomorrow. Lord forbid. But the fact of the matter is, our kids are our future. So we have to be mindful of the things that we're giving them, down to the foods. I tell my kids' mom that all the time. I get it. The chicken tenders and the french fries, you know what I'm saying? That may be a quick alternative, something quick. You might be, tired. There's certain days where that's okay. But we don't want to make that a day-to-day thing. The kid needs protein. The kid needs vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Iron. There's certain foods. Even starch, which isn't always good, but a certain amount of that. Wheats. We ain't gonna get into ingredients and all that. We know what we know. You know what I'm saying? The chicken spot is not a spot to live off for your kids. McDonald's Happy Meal is not a spot to live off for your kids, even though your kids might be wet. More than likely, your kids are gonna appreciate a McDonald's Happy Meal more than they would a home cooked meal. Let me repeat that, and I'm gonna pause for a second. Before I repeat that, think about that. And all the time we spend in the kitchen slaving over the stove, and most of us cook with love, especially when we cooking for our kids or our family. The kid is gonna be more excited about a Happy Meal, which is just a basic ass cheeseburger. It's just in a colorful box, and it has a toy inside of it. You know what I'm saying? They'll more than likely take the toy out first before they even start busting down their food. That's them being a kid. Can't blame them. It's a kid being a kid. But what we can start exercising is only giving that kid Happy Meals at a certain time, maybe twice out the month. You got to think, there's 4 weeks in a month. So twice out the month, that's only making you as a parent accountable for 2 weeks of cooking. You can't cook for 14 days? I mean, my nigga, I'm not going to hold you. Hamburger Helper is even better than a Happy Meal. Hamburger Helper doesn't take too long to make. And it's a pretty hearty meal. It'll fill, I'm a grown man. I'm not the biggest, of course. We see I'm a skinny dude. If it could fill me up, it'll definitely fill up a 5 and a 6-year-old. Or, any other young toddler. Like beefaroni, you know what I'm saying? Or some ravioli or something like that. But even those things, again, that canned shit, processed food, anything that's quick made out the box, we want to avoid. I learned how foods affect how your child acts. Certain dyes and certain candies. When you read the candy and it says red with a certain number next to it and then yellow or green, these dyes have a certain effect on our kids and how they act. As well as MSGs, which are usually found in the local chicken spot. Every hood got them. Whether you in Newark, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, there's a chicken spot everywhere. And I'm not talking about KFC. I'm talking about Kennedy Fried. Yeah, it's KFC, but it's Kennedy Fried Chicken. Martin Luther King Fried Chicken. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even trying to make a joke out of it. They're usually put in the hood. And this also ties into the whole conversation about today's youth, which is why I said I don't do this shit for the numbers. Everybody who needs to see it, see it on the back end. You feel me? If it was just me here, I'm giving this video to the world, this information. I'm super fulfilled. You have to understand that. I have a very, very beautiful girl who's in love with me right now. I have 2 beautiful kids. My kid's mom is in a healthy mind state with me. I have a career, not just a job. And shout out to everybody with a job. I hope that that job turns into a career. When I say a career, meaning it's the reason y'all don't see me here on YouTube. It's the reason I don't do this for numbers. That check that I get every other week is probably what most of you guys, again, if you don't have a huge following of 1 million+ followers, that check that I get every other week while you waiting for the 21st. Because see, we already know that, or do we know? Let me pause this real quick so I make sure that you hear me when I say this. We already know that there's other ways. How do you think I know about that check on the 21st? Look at my followers. I only got 1,000 subscribers, which means I got enough subscribers to be monetized. But if you pay attention to my channel, I'm not on here enough to have the watch time, the watch hours, as they call it. So I'm very close to being monetized. It's not a goal of mine. It's not like on my checkoff list. If that were the case, I wouldn't even have took the position at the bank where I'm at now, and I would have opted to just go YouTube full time until I was monetized with the watch hours, which would have more than likely happened within the next month and a half if I would have just kept doing what I'm doing now. The point is, when you set out a certain goal, you follow through on those goals. The goal was never to be the man or that guy on YouTube. It was to share the information that I wanted to share. You know what I was watching on YouTube before I started doing fragrance reviews on YouTube? Fragrance reviews. I was watching fragrance reviews. Amongst all the other bullshit, the DJ academics following, covering Chicago and the war in Chirac, the Vlad TVs, who's, they got all the hip hop artists up there, everybody who's pop. I was watching fragrance reviews. Simply put, I was watching something that I was interested in. Something that I saw that at least my demographic wasn't touching on. Everything in my demographic, and if you from where I'm from, if you grew up how I grew up, they reporting on the hood. They're trying to show you how hood they are. We outside, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm like when Young Jeezy had a song, actually his whole label is called Corporate Thuggin'. That describes me to the T. It is the best balance that you could have in the world. To be a dude from the slums. I used to run around my grandmother's apartment until the bottom of my feet was black. I know if you from the hood like NYCHA, you grew up in New York City Housing Authority sort of buildings, you remember that shit. Running around the building on your floor with your friends, back and forth, y'all racing down the hallway. Niggas ain't even got no socks on. By the time you go take a bath, the water is like black just from the bottom of your feet. That's where I come from. Pissy elevators. All right, do the Google. You could just do the Google. 905 Eagle Avenue. That big brown building in the middle of 163rd on Eagle Avenue. I was born and raised there. We used to yell up to grandma on the 4th floor, "Ma, throw the key out the window." If you from New York, you know about mommy or grandma throwing the key out the window. Let's talk about it. I'm going to have to get a refill in a minute because I'm going to be here with y'all for a minute. It's 11:10. Yeah, we're going to be here till midnight. We're going to be here to midnight because I'm going to touch on a few things. But the most important, today's youth. It all ties into today's youth. Today's youth, I don't know if y'all know about, "Yo, ma, throw the key out the window." Because the doors now on NYCHA, most New York NYCHA buildings be rigged to where niggas could just get in the building, or you ringing somebody else's doorbell just to get them to let you in. Let me tell you how many times I done been at my BM crib and somebody rang her doorbell and she like, who is it? And don't hear nothing, or somebody say that they just trying to get in the building. My nigga, either her or her mother, whoever answered the shit, I already knew what was happening. Once I heard it wasn't somebody that niggas knew, they about to get cursed the fuck out. They don't play that shit. Don't ring my fucking doorbell. And I'm dead serious. And that shit is loud. Think about it. You outside of the building. You know Harlem. Everybody outside in the street. You know what I'm saying? Whips is pulled up. 143rd at that. Like, we on the block that Huddy 6 mural was on. That's where my BM is from. So, and you in the building, and now some woman is screaming through the intercom. Don't ring my fucking doorbell. And I'm not playing with you. And like she's definitely the type to come out on the porch and like on the stoop and tell you face to face. Definitely not they like what actually connects me with them is my serious personality. I don't like to play around. You'll catch me, I might snicker here and there, but I'm not the jokester. I'm not a clown. I'm not on here to entertain you in the sense of like making you laugh. That's not my purpose. If I do something or say something that perhaps you take as funny or whatever the case is, that's entirely up to you. And I'm glad that you get to enjoy that moment. But me, like Rakim said, I'm as serious as cancer, Jack. As serious as cancer. Ma, throw the key out the window. That's where I come from. Now, it's the mindset and how you grow up from there, from that neighborhood, whether that determines whether or not you want to leave there. If you're gonna leave there, you know what I'm saying? It's two different choices. Some people don't want to leave there. They good right where they at. Right there in what the front part of my hat says, in the trap. It's really a trap. Why you think that us hustlers call the shit the trap? It's the hood. It's essentially a trap. It's one way in, really one way out. It's up to you to not get caught when you going out after making your one way in and doing what you had to do. That's why it's called the trap. Just in case you ain't know. That's the ghetto. Think about where traps go on. Niggas don't trap in the suburbs. Yeah, you bring shit to the suburbs. You got that one white boy, that one white clientele who's buying a whole zip, opposed to niggas in the hood who's constantly buying dimes, 20s, and 8s. You might have clientele out there, but niggas don't trap in the suburbs. The trap is it's the ghetto. Pardon me, I'm on the camera, so I keep rubbing this side. Because it's on this eye. But you get what I'm saying? It's a trap. That's the trap, and that's why they call it a trap. It's one way in, one way out, and it's a bunch of bullshit going on in the midst of it that you got to go through. This shit is really like a trap. Why would you want to go through that? But we all are faced with certain circumstances, the way you feel like your back's against the wall, you done sent out your resume, and this is exactly how I'm going to transition into this talk. You done sent out your resume to a couple different places. Nobody's hollering back. It's cool. Let me tell you something about the workforce and how this whole job search thing goes. But before we get into that, I'm gonna go get my robe and I'm gonna refill on this drink. In the meantime, just enjoy the grooves. I'll be right back. Armani TV. All right, we back, y'all. I opted for the hoodie instead. You know, as the night falls, it gets a little chilly, and I am iron deficient. It's not funny, but yeah, I get cold easily. I'm just a person who's always in a hoodie anyway. I tell people, look, and I wear a suit and tie to work every day, right? But as much as people like me in that suit and tie, I tell them all the time, I'm gonna probably be buried in a Nike Tech, in a Nike Tech sweatsuit. But anyway, the resume. We was talking about that. Today's youth, which is the topic of discussion. The problem with today's youth is that they found a problem with having one of these. And not a chain. Read what the chain says. Y'all done made it to where the youth thinks it's a problem having a boss. And you know what the problem is? As an app developer, somebody that has been making apps since 2012. So when we go back to that statement that I made, like, how does he know about the checks that we get on the 21st if he ain't even monetized? Because I was getting a check on the 21st from Google AdSense from my mobile apps before a lot of you niggas were even on YouTube. We only gonna talk facts on this channel. Most people that know me be like, he has his asshole ways. We know that about him. But at the end of the day, you can fact check what the nigga says. It's just the way I may come off. It may seem like an asshole. But the fact of the matter is, I was getting an AdSense check on the 21st. That's when Google cuts their checks. They not gonna make a different check date for app developers and YouTube creators just because. It's easier to send out all the money on the same day. Because as one that's in banking, you understand bank reconciliation and balancing and all that. It's easier to know opposed to having different dates where a mass amount of money is going out of. You know how much money Google sends out on the 21st? Think about how many creators they have that are getting like millions of views. And I'm not even one of them. I'm just somebody making money from the apps, the app side of the game. That's what I'm always trying to impress upon you guys and tell you guys about. You need to get off of YouTube. There's a reason that I don't spend time here, because I get a residual check from apps that I built way back in 2013, 2014, little dumbass game. Bro, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I built apps that are like diaries where you could post pictures of your day, jot down how you feel, like, you know, real social app. Bro, my most earning app to this date, on my mommy's soul, God bless and rest her, is a basic tic-tac-toe game I made. A fucking tic-tac-toe game. There's nothing special about it. It's an X and O. I didn't make a special X, a gold X, a platinum O. It's a simple tic-tac-toe game. I redid what was already out there and what was already done. Reproduced it, put it out under my company, and started getting residual checks from that to this date. Sometimes it may be like 100 something. Sometimes it may be 500 something, depending on the actual traffic. See, that's the thing that you guys got to understand as well about me. I'm a creator. I do the coding. So my mind isn't more so on the marketing. Once the coding is done and the app is done, as a developer, I feel fulfilled. I'll post it, put it out on social media, but I'm not going to constantly try to drill it in people's heads to go and download my app. I'm already receiving residual income because I'm in the app store. When you create an app, and this is going off on a small tangent, when you create an app, until you do it, you won't understand that it's like your videos on YouTube. The demographic that it reaches is way further than what you're actually. I don't know people in Morocco. Why are my apps being downloaded in Morocco? I don't know anybody in Russia. I know Russian people, but they don't live in Russia. Why am I getting a demographic, an analytics report with downloads coming from Russia? To be honest with you, the USA is the smallest portion out of a whole 100% chart, pie chart. The USA is the smallest percentage out of the people who download my mobile apps. And think about it. That's where I'm from. That's where all of my people are from. At least friends, family, who I would think would support it. And we're not going into that. It doesn't matter if you downloaded my apps or not. I'm not feeling the way about that. Just understand what I'm saying. When you build a mobile app, it's your own platform. You're not on YouTube with a channel. See, this is Armani TV, but it's owned by YouTube. Essentially, it's owned by YouTube. If I'm looking to get paid on here, it's going to come from YouTube. The check is not going to say Well Connected Incorporated, which is my company, or Armani Rouse Incorporated. You guys, like a lot of y'all take this too serious. And the problem is, y'all are taking this too serious and y'all not giving enough serious enough message. Excuse me. Y'all taking this too serious, but y'all message is not serious enough. A lot of y'all are 10 years my senior. Some of y'all 20 years. Some of y'all dudes is like 50. Again, proud 36-year-old young man or older man, whatever you want to call it, OG to a lot of the young dudes who's like 19, 20. But you want to listen to somebody that's at least gonna look. I'll have sessions after this where I literally will show you physically how to put together a resume. Right now, we just gonna talk for the next 30 minutes on why it's so important. Drilling, rapping, none of this shit is actually guaranteed. One thing I can tell you about a job or career is that even if payroll is late 1 week, that check is on the way. Check is on the way. You can guarantee that. Again, it might be late. Might be late this week. But the check is on the way. And that guarantee can only come from you putting in a certain amount of hours for an employer and them owing you for that certain amount of hours. YouTube don't owe you nothing because you sat up here for 10 hours and just talked whatever you wanted to talk. You should be thinking that your video would do high views. You should think high of yourself. So I'm not knocking that. But what I am saying is there's nothing solidified about YouTube. Even if you're a person with 30 million subscribers. Let's talk about the Mr. Beasts of the world. Mr. Beast, who does like 1 million views within like the first minute of his videos. Even him, at some point, is going to get to the point. He's only going to get older. Is YouTube going to sustain for him for the rest of his life? Think about it. A lot of his audience now may be watching him for him now. What happens to Mr. Beast at 50? What happens to the 60-year-old Mr. Beast? Is that YouTube money that you're making now going to sustain you all the way up until you're the 60-year-old Mr. Beast? And again, it's not the knock shot out to Mr. Beast. I'm only speaking to somebody with a channel with high numbers. You know what I'm saying? And he's definitely not in the dirty section of YouTube. Not even of our demographic. This is a Caucasian brother on YouTube doing his thing. He does a lot of giveaway. He's pretty much, dude makes a lot of money on YouTube and just buys shit to give it away, or just does things to just give money away. So shout out to Mr. Beast. Shout out to all the other creators with a large following. You got my dude, what's his name? Who's actually a very talented rapper. What's the I name? Not I Love McConan. Speed Show Speed, whatever. The Speed guy. He does his live streams on I Show Speed. Shout out to I Show Speed. Shout out to him. He does his live streams. Twitch. I'm not into gaming anymore. Again, I'm 36. I put down the PlayStation controller a long time ago. And to keep it 100 with you, there's nothing wrong with gaming at 36. There's a lot of 36-year-olds, even 50 or 6-year-olds, that game. Me personally, at 12, like once the PS2 came out, I had already started making money, hustling, doing my own little thing. So the game just wasn't interesting to me at all. But that's beside the point. Because what I was doing hustling, even though at 12 it was a legal hustle, I was going to BJ's at 12. And I figured out I could buy the candy at BJ's in bulk and sell them individually for a certain amount and make double or triple what I paid. So if the box was $15 and I got 48 candy bars in here, even if I sell them for $1, I just made $48. That's 3 times 15 and then the extra $3. So my mom was already on it. I was on the hustle. Then literally brought my little brother with me. I was 12, bringing my 5-year-old brother with me. Because his little innocent face, excuse me, going into certain places, he'll come out and a box will be empty but full of money. And I'm like, yeah, bro. Now we going to Modell's, get us some jersey, cop him a little jersey to match with mine. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little bro Trust, because I know he remember this. Jerseys at 5 years old, like, he ain't even want the shit. Like, it was just like he was just with his older brother, just doing it to do it. Shots off of that. But today's youth, beyond lost, man. We hearing too much about rappers. Why is everybody talking about rappers? Like, I get it. If you at that point in your life, you know what I'm saying, where your YouTube channel is good enough for you to just base all your content on other people's lives. Or maybe that's what your channel is about. I can't knock that. I'm just going to tell you that's not what you're going to get here. I'm not going to report on what Jay-Z just did. Why Tory Lanez is in the news. What Rihanna said. Like, it has no impact on my life or yours unless they're doing or saying something that literally has a direct impact on our lives. You need to learn about Career Builder. You need to learn about websites like Indeed, apps like Indeed, Monster, even though that's a little older, but Career Builder is old as well, but they've updated their stuff and made it to where you can literally apply to multiple jobs at one time. So you need to know about things like Career Builder, Indeed, that make it very easy to where once you have a resume form, you can click one button. You ain't got to go through the whole application process. And me personally, I don't like answering a lot of questions. And I make a nice amount of money an hour. I'm not even going to say the amount. I make a nice amount of money an hour. Trust me. Hourly, it's like, it would be like literally, you can compare it to like selling drugs. And this is a job, what you would call it. But it's career oriented. I'm in a bank. I could stay here for 10 years if I wanted to. Get a home loan from this bank. I can finance my first home from this bank. Finance plenty of cars from this bank. Personal loans from this bank. If I wanted to build up my own, business or whatever the case is. The idea is these things only happen from involving yourself with a job or a career-oriented setting. We hearing too much about drilling, too much about killing, and not enough about, what's actually going to help you to get to the next level. If a crisis was to happen, the whole internet was wiped out. You couldn't even watch YouTube. What are you going to do? Or is your life about being entertained all day? So essentially, this message is for the youth who are looking for another way. Because a lot of you guys are good with the way that your life is. You might be good, just mediocre. You might not be trying to obtain nothing. You don't have any goals. That's fine. This message is not for you, but for the youth that are actually striving, that actually want something out of life and would like another way. I present to you the workforce. It's called the resume. Something that a lot of these big YouTubers never talk about. You know why? Because a lot of them wouldn't even know the first step to putting together a resume. But they'll show you mad stacks of money that they made on YouTube and all of that, enticing you to think that this is the place to build a career. So this is where a lot of you start, which is why you have a lot of young YouTubers who are successful. My only fear for them is in the next 10 years, when you're 29, 30, you still gonna be popping on YouTube? What is the guarantee in that? If I know I'm with a company, and unless I leave that company, I'm going to be there for as long as I'm going to be there, which means I'm going to consistently get paid. And also I'm on salary. So that means is if I take a day off, I'm going to get paid still. You taking a day off of YouTube as a big YouTuber may be the difference in, you know, how your monthly setup is, and, you know, so on and so forth. So it's a big difference when you do down careers and jobs and all that. Here's the thing. Let me see you go out and do it, because essentially I'm doing what you're doing right now. May not have all the views, the likes, and all of that. Doesn't matter, but I'm doing the same, and on all exquisite shit. A lot of you niggas be doing lives from your phone and don't even got iPhones. I got a couple iPhones in here. The new joints at that. We on the look. This live is coming to you from the 2021 MacBook Air. This came out last year. Shout out to my boy Woke the Whiskey in the building. You heard? What's good with you, Woke? Woke, we talking that talk. Stay tuned for the next 20 minutes, because I know that you appreciate this topic. We talking about today's youth and how brothers like me and Woke, smaller platforms, don't get the recognition they deserve, even though the message that we giving out is a lot more conducive to people leveling up. No offense to Hassan Campbells of the world, even the 1090 Jakes. And 1090 Jake, he's only reporting on, you know, certain cases, so on and so forth. But if you think about it, it's all negative information. And this is what makes these guys who they are. It's what builds them up. That's the problem. That's like the root of the problem. If we're only going to celebrate negativity, and when somebody's talking that talk and giving you real information and gems, and we're going to overlook that, we got to look at that as a problem. That's a problem. That would be like having sex with no intentions to come. Like, hold on, I'm going to say it again. That would literally be like having sex. And I've done that before. But I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Was wild drunk, had wild drinks, was probably off a pill or something, smoked wild joints, and was just hitting the joint. She done came a couple times, and I just fell out. But guess what? My intentions weren't the fallout. My intentions was to definitely get that nut. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We don't look at that as a problem. There's an issue there. That's where the disconnect comes from. You know what I'm saying? It's not always about talking positive, so on and so forth. Look, I smoke weed. I have my drinks, but I work in a bank, a career-oriented place. So when I come on YouTube, you go back to a couple videos back, when I first was in the suit and I was doing the fragrance reviews, I was training for the position that I'm in now. Now I'm comfortable. I'm hoodie on, you know what I'm saying? Back to how I was when y'all first was seeing me. But I'm in a whole new setting. The crib done changed. I'm not even in my sister's crib anymore. So I need you to understand the growth. This came from a job, a career, not YouTube. And look at the numbers. 1,000 subscribers, ain't that what you need to be monetized? The watch hours. The watch hours are what I'm missing. Why am I missing watch hours? Because I'm not on YouTube every day. This is not my source of income, nor would I ever rely. More importantly, rely. Grab the mic. Rely. Why would we rely on a platform that's not even ours? Now, the thing is about an employer. The employer's not ours either. But guess what? When you got the job until you fuck that up or until you decide to leave. That's the difference. There is no guarantee that when you sign up for this shit and you start going live and you pulling your phone out and thinking that you're going to be the next thing. And I wish it for all of you. I'm the most positive person in the world. I just need everybody to look at things from a reality standpoint. We just went through COVID, which was something that I'm 36. So let's say the people in their 60s, 70s who went through the Great Depression and all that shit that us 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds couldn't even fathom or imagine. Imagine being home, being told you gotta stay home. What happened with all of you guys who didn't have jobs? Let me sit for a second and sip. I'm gonna light my blunt. I'm gonna say it again. When COVID told everybody to stay the fuck home, all of you who never had a job, if you was just on a block or you was on YouTube, whatever, what happened at that point? Were you able to get unemployment for YouTube? Might start freestyling in this bitch. The point was that strong. Might start freestyling. Because the point was that strong. When COVID told everybody to stay home, did you get a check from unemployment for YouTube? Nope. Not from unemployment. The greatest thing about YouTube is if you had a strong enough following, you were able to still get money from. Actually, guess what? If you go back, look at my first video. Let me make this clear as well. So I got to stop the beat again so that you hear me fully. When you go to a person's about page, because a lot of people like to try to make that art. Oh, you've been on YouTube for 10 years. Bro, everybody's been on YouTube for 10 years. YouTube came out in 2006. Actually, I was making YouTube videos when BlackBerry was out and they put a camera on the BlackBerry. I was making YouTube videos way before the iPhone. I'm talking all phones before then. Remember the Palm Trio? The shit if it had a camera on it. YouTube or any phone with an internet browser, that's been something that you were able to access from 2006. So if you're 36, essentially you were around literally when YouTube was being developed. Not only came out. When Instagram first came out, I was learning how to make apps because I had figured out this whole world is going mobile. All this shit that people were like driving to in droves are mobile apps. Why is Facebook getting so much, or people are spending all their time on there? And it just so happens at the time I was working at a school in Manhattan that sold IT programs to businesses that needed to train people that they hired, for their IT department. So let's say I would get a call. In reality, I got a call from Chase Manhattan Bank. This was one of my biggest sales over the phone. Yes, I got 3 new guys that just hired. I need them trained in A plus. I need them to know SQL, C plus. I need them to be certified in Microsoft servers. And after everything totaled up, I'm like, okay. $60,000 sale, credit card sale over the phone. This company gave me their credit card number, and I was walking over anytime. So in this office, anytime that you seen somebody walking from their desk to the credit card machine with like a little post-it note, because you had to write the credit card information on the post-it note, go charge the card, and then boom, you know you made the sale. Anytime you seen somebody with a little post-it note walking to the credit card machine, you knew that nigga just hit. Not only was I getting a base for that, but there was commission on top of every sale that I sold. So imagine my commission on that 60,000. And I was probably 23 then. A job. Career oriented. Always was in Midtown. Was on Wall Street, bro. I literally had an office job right next to that big ass stone bowl that's in the middle of Wall Street. Literally next door to the New York Stock Exchange, where my father was a broker at. Let's talk about my pops being a regular dude from Long Island with no college background who literally got into the New York Stock Exchange. Let's talk about the New York Stock Exchange being what you saw in the movie Wall Street or The Wolf of Wall Street. For a lot of you young dudes who probably don't remember the movie from 1980s with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen, The Wolf of Wall Street, my father was that guy. In 2000, I was the only dude where my friends was like, yo, son, why your father got a briefcase when he go to work? That was 2000. In 2000, Pops was paying $1,000 for rent. And literally 2000. Matter of fact, it was 1999. Because I remember being in the crib with my other cousins, like being 11, 12 years old in 1999, and us worried about the year 2000 because niggas was talking about computers and the world shutting down. And I remember it being like New Year's and all of us sitting in a circle like, yeah, son, get ready. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Panicking. Little 12-year-old niggas just think, you know, believing whatever the world told us. The whole point is, my pops wanted something different. Didn't want to stay in Long Island, whatever he grew up in, and you know the trials and tribulations that he went through. A job got him to the New York Stock Exchange. It was what I remember. I was young. I didn't know all the jobs, but it wasn't always the New York Stock Exchange. But it was always some shit to where he had mad suits in the closet, mad ties. I just saw something different. A nigga grew up seeing the hustlers on the corner. I grew up in the early 90s in the Bronx when niggas still had 4-finger big gold rings on. The chicks were still wearing door knocker earrings and getting them shit snatched out their ear. You ever see a chick with the slit in her ear, like the shit all the way down? She had a pair of door knockers snatched out her shit. Just ask her. She'll more than likely be proud to tell you that, actually. Because she had a pair of door knockers on. That's where that slit come from. Listen, man, to end this live off, a career, even a job that's career oriented. I don't care if you sweeping the floor at Chase Manhattan Bank. It's going to assure you that whether it's a week or if you pay bi-weekly or if you pay twice a month, that check is going to come. And guess what you can do in the meantime while you're working? Make time for YouTube. But you need a steady income in order to build. You want to have your own crib with a bathroom inside of your bedroom. Or where you could walk out your bedroom, got the big window, and it's like that balcony shit, right? Like, just walk outside from the bedroom. Fireplace in the living room. TV is 88 inches. The fuck you need 88 inches on your TV for? Like, why? 30-inch iMac in the living room on the MacBook Air, right? Listen, we could tout and talk about all this material shit all day. As a matter of fact, just grab this from my jeweler in New York. Y'all remember my old lives. I ain't had this on. Where you get that from? Or the bracelet with all the trinkets and shit. It's not about none of that shit. I make money consistently. Consistently. From a career-oriented job. And them checks is crazy. Crazy. Like, what niggas wait on for tax time, you know what you usually get back? Like 3 or 4 G's? Imagine getting that shit like every other week. And you're not on YouTube. Matter of fact, I wish, actually, yeah, I ain't even gonna go through all of that, taking the plugs out. I wish I could just walk y'all through my closet right now. While you see me in a snapback and a hoodie, hold on real quick. Let's actually go pull some suits out. Or just go through my channel. You know what I'm saying? Go through my channel. And these are just a light 4. This is literally a half a week's worth. Yeah, basically a week's worth. We got the navy blue, all right, with the gold buttons on the blazer. Y'all already know what this is about. Let's talk real quick before we end it. The navy blue with the gold blazer, and then look. Only time I do separates. The slacks is like a hunter green. Crazy. This right here is more of a relaxed Friday look. Now, Monday, I might come in with this joint on. This is like the bluish gray checkered. If you look real close, it's checkered. But check out the fucking lining on this shit. You see how exquisite that is? Look at that lining on this jacket. This is what it's about. This is shit that like your boy Kevin Samuels was in. This will be a Monday suit. All right? Tuesday, we just gonna go all black. And just so you know, it's still me on here. All black on Tuesday. But we gonna 3-piece it. We gonna hit them niggas with the vest. You see the vest on the inside? The 3-piece. Again, the best place to see all of this, I don't post videos of me on my way to work on YouTube. You gotta follow me on Instagram or TikTok for that. And then you will see, like, yo, it's a bit different with this guy. We could all get up here and talk that talk, but this nigga actually works in the bank. This nigga, he really knows about credit. The problem, what I have, and I'm gonna show you how to, hold on, the last suit that we brought out. This will be like a Wednesday suit. I remember the first time I wore this suit, it was the first payday at the bank. I got my first check from the bank. I wore this one. The all burgundy. Looking like Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. Looking like a news reporter. Like, who comes in with a burgundy suit on and killed it, my nigga? Like, bro, you gotta see. Everything is slim fit. It fits me, nothing baggy. You see how skinny the pants leg is on the pants. Like, this ain't your church suit. I'm not looking like your pastor when I go into work. You heard? This is straight Barack Obama. Not even Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump ain't a sharp nigga. This is straight, matter of fact, not even Barack Obama. Hold on. Who could I get to compare this to? This is some straight Denzel shit, y'all. You heard? And again, it's not to tout about the things that I got or what I do for work. It's to show the youth that there is another way. God. It's super funny to think that the people on YouTube with the biggest platforms wouldn't be actually giving y'all this information, but it makes sense now. They don't have it to give to y'all because they don't know how to do it themselves. Somebody comment on Hassan Campbell's next video. Yo, bro, you think you could help me put a resume together? I'm trying to get this job at, you know what I'm saying, Target or whatever. You think you can help me with that? Because I get mad over shit from your channel. Like, I just wanted to know. Because I know you well off, and ask him. Salute to my boy 10 Toes Down. He talk a lot of that talk. But I've been waiting on him to actually say some of the things that I'm saying now. It's like each video I'll be waiting for it. It's like he gets closer to it, but then it's not there. And when I say closer to it, I mean he'll tell you everything wrong about what somebody like Hassan Campbell or Five God, and shout out to my boy Five God. We gonna end it off with him. 7 minutes left. We gonna end it off with Five God. But 10 Toes to talk about everything that they're doing wrong, but don't really give you a solution. That's the problem. The solution is not YouTube, y'all. Like this live, not for nothing, is literally the most important live that I've put out since 2019 when I, first put up my first video, which going back to what I was saying about the about page, because I go off in tangents and I forget the point, but I always come back. Don't go off of what the about page says when somebody joined YouTube. Anybody with a Gmail address, it's connected to YouTube because Google owns YouTube. Fucking dummies. This is what I'm saying. I've been getting an AdSense check from YouTube. I'm sorry, from Google. Because that's where your check comes from. It comes from Google. Google owns YouTube. Again, for you niggas who didn't know that. Just like Facebook owns Instagram and also WhatsApp now. That whole Meta shit, M-E-T-A, that's Facebook. They're trying to basically, they've run out of creativity. They're just buying up shit now. If an app is doing good, Facebook is going to buy it. Soon you're going to see TikTok owned by Facebook. Real shit. And that's a lie for another day because I'm actually an app developer. There's levels to what we can actually talk about here. I do the fragrance reviews because that's what I enjoy. I love smelling good, and I feel that everyone should smell good. It's a pleasure to be around somebody that smells good. You know what I'm saying? It also enhances their lifestyle. I might talk about a fragrance that somebody buys, and that fragrance literally leads them to meeting the love of their life. Never know. Ultimately, I'm just doing what I enjoy, though. So again, I'm not going to waste my time telling you about what 1,000 other channels are already talking about. The industry, the game, prison, and all of this. Like I've experienced, with the exception of prison, I was in the county, though. Jail is jail. Orange jumpsuit and all that. I had to talk to my mother through the glass with the phone. Jail is jail. I'm not proud of that. I'm not touting it. What I am touting is being able to get a fucking corporate bank job with a felony for possession of distributing crack cocaine on your record. Let's talk about that. These are the actual facts. I could go right there in my closet and pull out the paperwork and show you. Know why? Because I usually have to do that in order to secure the jobs once they run my background and see I have a fucking felony for selling crack back in 2005, 2006. That hustler shit is always going to be in me. I'm always going to know how to get my hands dirty. It's just a matter if I want to keep them dirty. If I want to be a nigga who goes out and gets actual manicures and, you know what I'm saying, his shit is clean and all that. Chicks like that a little bit more. I noticed. They actually do. They actually do. They like the money and all that. That's cool for all you hustling niggas and, you know what I'm saying? But they actually do like a nigga who's on point. Clean cut. Hence why I cut the braids and the dreads off. It's just waves and, you know what I'm saying? All smooth, or literally smooth sailing now. That's crazy. Cut the braids off, got waves, so it's all smooth sailing now. That's crazy. I have to write that down for my next rap and all that. But we out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through tonight. Everybody who's going to catch this joint on the replay. Listen, once again, the message is, give the youth something else to look forward to. YouTube is cool. There's nothing wrong with YouTube. There's nothing wrong with aspiring to have a YouTube career. But what I'm advising, I'm only advising, at the end of the day, it's only my advice to you. What I'm advising is, we gotta build character first. It's like when I was staying at my pops, when I was staying with my pops, but I got my first office job and I was making like $800 every other week. I was giving him like $200 every month out of my whole, month's income. And he had a room in the attic. It was like a whole space, and it was turning that into what was going to be my first little own space. Like, forget a room. I had the whole attic. The whole point is, I didn't get up until I started renting my first apartment, which was costing me $900 a month. That was East Orange, New Jersey. Shout out to them. $900 a month. This was 2007 going on 2008. Until I got to that place and started paying rent on my own, I didn't appreciate or understand why my father was actually even asking me for $200 a month. Building character. Now paying rent is no problem. It's just a matter of where I want to live. I might hear the guns go off a couple times before this shit, you know what I'm saying? We got a minute left, but it's that real. It's just a matter of where I want to live. Now I just pick it. What you might think is too old, $1,500 for rent, that's crazy. Drop in a bucket. Because that's what I want. And the youth needs to understand that as well. The only way to acquire and get the things that you truly want is to set yourself up with a foundation. Manifestation and all that is cool, but there takes action to actually get the thing that you're trying to manifest. It takes action. And a lot of the times that action is not going to be on YouTube. So this has been another Armani TV production. Shout out to everybody that came through. My boy Woke that made himself known in the comments. There's a lot of y'all don't like to be commenting and all that. It's all good. But shout out to you all. And I advise you all, after seeing this video, immediately go download Indeed, the Indeed app. Go download the Career Builder app. Go download the Credit Karma app. See what your credit is like. I got a bunch of videos on credit. You can go back and watch those. And start to put together an actual resume. What jobs have you had? And if you don't have anywhere to start, that's exactly why this video is so important. Think about how many of you guys can't put a resume together because you haven't never had a job. No. And now we out of here.